Hey there, I'm Di, and today is a Create This Book 2 episode. I've got 3 prompts to do for you today, but before I get into it, I do want to make an apology to my loyal viewers and subscribers. I've been MIA for probably about 2 months at this point. Just some changes going on in the home that I've got to learn to work around and schedule around. Then myself and my son got influenza A, and they also treated me for pneumonia. And as you can probably hear, I'm still not completely well. My lungs have absolutely taken a hammering. So we'll see how this video and voiceover goes. If my voice conks out, I might just have to rope my husband in to do my voiceover for me. So I apologize for the gross sounding voice. The other apology is the mess going on in the background here. I haven't got the energy to clean it up, and there's several projects going on back there that I started before I got unwell, and that mess will just have to wait. This is reality, people. This is how my work area looks when I'm not filming intros and outros. I don't think you care. I think you're all gonna understand. But anyway, before I totally wreck my voice, let's get into this. Oh, by the way, I nearly forgot. Hang around until the very, very end of the video because I've got a bit of an announcement. Alrighty, the first prompt I want to tackle is create bleed. Use markers or paint and let the colours bleed through the page. Well, there's nothing on this side, nor on this side, so it's safe to let it bleed through. I'll pop some silicone mats in to save the rest of the book as I plan to use watercolours. My beautiful set of Winsor & Newton watercolours. I get them all nice and juicy, then start out by putting a layer of water straight onto the pages. This paper is seriously dehydrated and it's just soaking up the water terribly. So in order not to tear the paper with the brush, I spritz some water onto the paper instead. Then I'll let the paint bleed all over the paper. But it's just kind of sitting there doing nothing. Spritz some more water, but still not much is happening. It's just soaking in rather than moving around like I'd envisioned. Time to pivot then. Out with the book and in with some proper watercolour paper. Give that paper a good soaking and I start dabbing nice bright paint all over. And the paint is definitely doing what I'd hoped this time. Don't think it's going to bleed through to the other side of the page like the prompt wanted me to do, but I don't care. I just use the prompts as a starting point and then see where it takes me. I do plan to let this page of watercolour show through the paper, but I shall cheat to make it happen. And technically, the paint is bleeding, just not through the paper. And this is fun, just semi-randomly flinging paint all over and going with the flow. I use the water spritzer to keep the paint moving and a little sponge to soak up areas that go a bit too far and start getting muddy. When that's dry, I grab another piece of paper and make a nice blendy gradient background. Then I'll pop my design on this background. And I'm drawing mushrooms. Of course. When don't I find an opportunity to draw mushrooms? But these are not my usual mushy characters, just plain old mushrooms. Plus a butterfly. I didn't really have a solid plan for this bit, I'm just going with what I feel, and I decide on a nice bold black outline around all the shapes. Now it's time for my little cheat to make the watercolours show through the paper. I do this by cutting out the mushroom caps and the butterfly wings. Once I've done that, I realise I forgot to colour the undersides of the mushy caps, so let's just fix that. I continue to use my acrylic paint markers, the brush sort, to make some nice long grass. I know I didn't film this upside down. I just find it easier to get the nice shape of the grass by doing it upside down. To create a nice border around the mushroom scene, I cut down the image and round off the corners. Finally, I just glue it onto the colourful page, letting all those beautiful colours show through, then glue the whole thing into the book along with a very roughly added prompt. You may also notice, off camera, I added in some more black details. And all in all, I'm kind of happy with how this turned out, even if it wasn't exactly sticking to the prompt and I did cheat a little. It's still cool. The next prompt I want to tackle is create a list of things you own. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8, hey? I reckon I have an idea. But first, let's list my 8 items. We have an old necklace, a new paintbrush, an ugly teacup, a cute toy bunny, a handmade candle, a gifted ring, a broken watch, and a thrifted compact mirror. With those listed, I work off camera on a sketch of an octopus. I decided to work off camera for the sketch as I find the pressure of sketching on camera too much. I don't know why, plus doing it off camera means I can sketch more freely while hanging out with my family. I use my light up tracing pad to transfer the image onto suitable paper, then do a little doctoring to some of the dodgier looking tentacles and draw in the 8 items. I originally thought I was going to use watercolour, hence why I chose a nice textured watercolour paper. But I've changed my mind and I'm going to use my Derwent Inktense pencils. I've only used these pencils 2 times before. Once was for a background on a Cinderella recreation with no details and just a wash of colour. The other time I used them was when I customised an Akubra hat. I've liked the pencils both times, but I'm glad to be using them this way and see how it turns out. I'm not exactly sure how to tackle it though, whether I should colour the whole thing with the pencils, then go back in with the water all at one time, but seems my experience with these pencils is so limited, I'll do a bit at a time, colouring just a section at a time, then using water to reveal the magic of these Inktense pencils. And it really is like magic. When that water hits the Inktense and it just moves the ink around, I love it. I really love watercolour and I really like sketchy looking outlines. So to see the combination of the two in the finish I'm getting, I'm seriously in love with these pencils. I think they might just be my new favourite medium to use. Doing this piece in sections is gonna leave it a little patchy, but I don't really mind. And I do try and lean into it a little, especially at the end when I add in some patches of colour. Because I thought I would be using watercolour on this picture, and I used the rough type watercolour paper, it might have looked smoother if I used a smoother paper, but I actually really love how this looks anyway. I love all the texture and all the pencil strokes that are left behind. And if you're liking the look of these Derwent Inktense pencils, stick around until the very end of the video as I might have something you're interested in. For the tentacle suckers, I used some Faber-Castell water-based markers, along with matching colours in my polychromos. They worked super well for the finer details, but that's a lot of suckers to colour, so let's skip most of it. Next, I bust into my pearlescent watercolours my daughter gifted me to add some highlights to the suckers, plus some nice little shimmery patches on the octopus. These are so pretty and makes for a very nice finish, but I don't think the camera is showing it up too well. You'll just have to take my word for it. For the 8 little objects the octopus is holding, I use a combination of gold leafing, metallic markers and pearlescent paint. So my 8 actual objects are a teacup that is ugly, it's an old piece of junk and I plan to paint over it one day. Pearl necklace is old, I wore it on my wedding day. The handmade item is a candle my daughter made, it smells really nice too. The compact mirror is a thrifted item and I got it to use for a project. That idea actually involves an octopus too. The bunny rabbit is cute, but its cuteness factor actually comes from the fact it belongs to my dog and she loves carrying it around and she looks so adorable when she does. For the new, I did a paintbrush because I always seem to be buying new paintbrushes. The ring was gifted to me by my husband upon the birth of our first child. He had it specially made and it's beautiful and so special. And finally, the broken watch. Well, I actually painted it as a pocket watch, but in real life it's a wristwatch. I thrifted it old and broken for this octopus project I mentioned. I actually wanted an old pocket watch but couldn't find one, so I settled on a normal watch, but I painted the broken pocket watch I envisioned instead of the wristwatch. Anyway, to finish off this picture, I do a very light wash background with a mix of watercolours. Then I decide to go back in with the pearlescent paints and make some bubbles. I use a pen cap dipped into the paint and then stamped onto the paper. Then I added some little colour highlights to each one. For the smaller bubbles, I used the back of the brush dipped in the paint and just dotted those on there. Worked pretty well too. Finally, I glue the whole thing into the book along with the prompt. I actually really love this octopus and I'm definitely motivated to keep drawing or sculpting more octopi. Is it octopi or octopus? Octopi? Something like that. I just want to pop in here quickly and give a shout out and a mention to the Create This Book 3 collab. You know, the single copy of Create This Book 3 that is currently traveling around the globe and getting filled with amazing artworks by amazing content creators. Well, just to update some of you on how that's going, the book is still on the move. At the time of this video being posted, I think it's been to about 12 creators so far. And the best way to stay up to date on where the book is heading and when there's a new video is subscribe to this channel, hit the notification bell, because I've got a playlist that I do update as soon as I can when a new video comes out. Plus I try and put posts on my community tab updating when there's a bit of a break in between creators. Now when there is a big break between videos, that's because this is taking time. This book is happening real time, so it's got to go through the post. It's got to get through customs, and it does get stuck there sometimes. The creators have to make their artworks. They have to make their videos. Time is going into this, but don't fear when there's a break. I've gotten some comments. Has the collab died? No, there's no chance of this collab dying. I won't let that happen. There's so many artists waiting to receive this book. They're not going to let that happen. So don't be scared. The collab is not dying. It is still red hot. There's still some amazing creators that it's going to be going to. And I will make sure this book gets finished. It might take more than a year, but it will get done. Anyway, back to the final prompt for this video. Time for the last prompt, and we are going to create layers. Make this page layered by adding bits of paper, tape, ribbon, stickers, etc. I filmed the other two pieces before getting sick, and this one I tried to do while recovering, so I needed to make it as easy as possible. I quickly drew up some shelving units on my iPad, printed it out, but then I busted it into some textured papers I have. I thought I could use the wood print papers. So I printed the shelves onto the white wood for the background and the tan wood for the shelves themselves. I cut out all the shelving units and glued them on top of the white wood. For the next layer, and to fill up these shelves, I'm going to use my Sarah Renee Clark stickers. I thought with my hands being ultra shaky at the moment due to the inhalers for my crappy lungs, this would be a good and fun option. I just have to colour them, and I use my Artex dual tip markers for this. I don't actually like these markers for bigger projects, but for little detailed stuff like this, they're perfect. I don't do the best job on these pictures. My hands are just so freaking shaky. It really is frustrating, and I'm tiring pretty quickly. But they're only small, so thankfully there's not much to do. The best bit though is arranging all the items on the shelves. These stickers are really great and they do peel off without tearing up the underside, so I can make adjustments even after I've put them in place. with all the little bits and bobs on the shelves, I add in the prompt in the easiest, most basic way possible and glue it all in. Done. That was quick, easy, and rather enjoyable. And I definitely followed the prompt well on this one. I created several layers using paper and stickers. The create bleed prompt, I didn't really create bleed like the prompt suggested, but too bad, I like it anyway. But my favourite prompt of the day is definitely the octopus holding all my listed items. Well, that's it for this, but stick around for a special announcement. Okay, so prompts done, but as I promised, I've got a little bit of announcement. We reached 10k subs here on my channel recently. We've actually now gone over 11,000, but when I was getting close to 10, I thought, I'd actually like to do a little bit of a giveaway. And I'd planned to do it ages ago, but then I got sick and blah, blah, blah. I enjoyed using the Derwent Inktense pencils on the prompt in this book so much that I want to give away a set of Derwent Inktense pencils. Now, the set I've got is 36, but during the Amazon sales, I got a hold of a 72 pack of Derwent Inktense pencils for the same price of a 36 pack. So one lucky viewer is going to be able to win these pencils. I love them, and that's why I chose them as the prize, because something that I enjoy, you might enjoy too, who knows? How do you win? Let's get through some of the nitty gritty of this. This competition is not associated with YouTube. They have nothing to do with it. It's just me. They are not to be held responsible. It's just me. In order to win this amazing set of 72 Inktense pencils, I'm going to go on a bit of a treasure hunt. I'm going to list 4 videos in my description box below, and in those 4 videos, they're not mine, they are other content creators who kindly let me do this in their video. There's going to be 4 emojis, okay? 1 emoji in each video. You need to find that emoji in the video, then go to the next video, find that emoji, then the third, then the fourth, and you have to interpret those emojis to a winning set of words, a little phrase. Go watch the videos, find the emojis, figure it out for yourself. It's not too difficult. I will put your name into a hat. Then out of all of those, I will pick one winner. I will draw one name out of the hat and there will be one winner. I'll pop up on the screen now when the closing date is to enter. I'm going to give it about a week, but I will put the definite date on the screen. Just waiting for the motorbike to bugger off. After the closing date, within 24 hours, I will post who the winner is in my community tab. If you fail to make contact within 48 hours, unfortunately, I will do a redraw, and then that person will have 48 hours, and I'll keep going until I eventually find a winner. So again, check the description, watch the 4 videos, find the 4 emojis, figure out the phrase. There's 4 words, 1 emoji equals 1 word, 4 words. If you got it right, you go into the draw. I think that's it. But anyway, it's just a little thank you from me to you guys. Have a little bit of fun going on a treasure hunt. One will get to win. But mainly, thank you for all being here and helping me reach 10,000 subscribers, 11,000 subscribers. It's been pretty cool. Yeah, I'm glad you're all here. Thanks for sticking with me. I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.